And welcome back again to the Ivory Tower Collections. Today I'm going to bring to you a new homebrew game. Actually, it's not that new. I'm going to be honest. I've been meaning to do a gameplay video review of this game for a while. So I'm going to put these away real quick and show you the game. And the game we are going to talk about is this right here. This is the game Spies in the Night for the Atari 2600. A game as explosive as a bullet from a sniper rifle. Very cool. Now the game is, it was a collaborative effort between the programmer, whose name is Jared West, and the artwork that you see here, which is really cool in this box. It's like a comic book style noir type setting. Was done by DC Stoltner and was originally published by Neo Games. Now this originally came out last year, and you can still purchase the basic cartridge and manual from the Atari Age store, and I'll show you that, and I'll have links below. So again, this is the special edition version of the game. So if you take a look, the box is really nice on this. The artwork is actually printed on the box itself, which I've not seen very commonly. And it features the title of the game on all four sides of the box. There's the bottom, and also on the top. And in case you don't want to see the contents of the special edition, I will annotate down here along the bottom a timestamp where you can cut ahead straight to the gameplay footage. But for the rest of you, let's take a peek at Spies in the Night. The game comes with this cool dossier with top secret documents inside. I'll get into that at the end. Again, we have the cartridge itself, which was made by Atari Age. So the labels are in excellent quality and look good. They feature the cover art and appears to be in a recycled 2600 cartridge shell, so it probably spent life earlier as a Combat or a Pac-Man, something common like that. The special edition versions also include like a trading card that features again the artwork with your number of your particular special edition version that you have. And on the back side of the card, it has this cool concept sketch of the cover art, which is really cool. I like that. Looks really neat. Also comes with these little stickers. Not sure if my camera will focus on that. We'll see if it will. I think that'll work. And so they measure about, I don't know, maybe a little over 1 inch by 1.5 inches. And again, they feature the cover art as well. And then I got to lift up the box for the rest of the stuff. I kind of have it hiding underneath here. I do like this tray insert that came with this. It really holds the cartridge perfectly inside. So that's really cool. I'm going to set this off to the side for a second. Of course, we have the instruction manual itself, which again features the cover art and has the basic gameplay storyline, as well as the gameplay mechanics, how to play the game, credits, and let's see here. And then it also came with these cool, these fake $1 million bills, which I'm not sure what their significance is with the storyline of the game, more or less, but maybe it's the payment for the secret agent that you play as. Not sure. Also, I didn't mention this before, but on the back of the box, it also has printed the basic gameplay elements as well as some screenshots. So very cool. Very nice box. One last thing that came with this kit, before I get into the top secret dossier here, is a set of X-ray goggles, X-ray glasses, yes. These obviously don't fit in the box, so they came separately with the package. But yeah, I guess this is what our secret agent used to scope out and infiltrate the enemy territory. So I'll set those over there as well. So now let's talk about the contents of the top secret dossier. Now, if you don't want to see the contents of this, I'll have yet another annotation along the bottom here, where you can skip ahead to the gameplay video footage. But for the rest of us, let's take a peek inside at the top secret orders. Set this down for a second. The game features it comes with a photocopied map of the layout of the land. I'm going to use the cartridge itself to kind of hold that down for me a little bit and slide it up so we can see it. There we go. And basically this is a layout overhead view of the gameplay area. Now the only things you really interact with as the secret agent is from your entry point labeled down here at the bottom. Hopefully that can show up down there. You have to scale along this wall, and eventually you have to destroy your main target here, which is the lighthouse. Now you might be asking yourself, if we have barracks and labs and snipers and naval guns and a lighthouse, why is the lighthouse the target? Well, that's not specifically stated in the manual, but I have my own story. You see, your government, whichever government, your government, has discovered that the enemy has a hidden laboratory with soldiers stationed on this secret island. That's why they have the naval guns and the sniper locations, is to take out enemies from approaching directions on this secret island. The lighthouse, which is always active, makes it very difficult, if not nearly impossible, to infiltrate the islands because of the constant light and how it lights up all activity around the island. Your job as the secret agent is that you have to scale along this broken wall and detonate explosives that have been planted by the lighthouse. Doing so allows your government forces to come in, infiltrate the secret labs and barracks, and rescue the people inside, because the enemy's secret lab is doing evil things. So yeah, so you get this basic map, and then the rest of the dossier includes photographs of your target. So first we got a target of the lighthouse itself, and we have another shot from the coastline of the lighthouse and area and other buildings. And we have what looks like a photograph of the beachfront, what look like entrances underground. I'm assuming these are the entry points from where you infiltrate onto the property, onto the enemy's property, and start the game from. And yes, if you didn't tell by that gloss, these are actually on photo quality paper. Yes, it's very cool. This is a picture of the sniper bunkers, or the sniper encampments. Here's an overview drone shot of the enemy's radar array, as well as their secret lab and barracks. Another picture of the radar array, and yet another picture of the radar array, this one done from the hole in the fence. And then we have an aerial shot of the entire island itself, which, based on the map information and just kind of looking at this, I would say most of the area that we're working with here is right up here in this corner of this little peninsula area of the island. So yeah, so those are the contents of the top secret mission folder and the contents of the game itself. So it's a very cool overall package. I have to say I was quite impressed when I purchased this and I saw all these other cool little items that were included with it. I didn't initially expect all that. But again, you can pick up the game and the instruction manual still from Atari Age directly these days. So with that, let me show you some gameplay footage with my take and review. So let's try playing the game and show you how it works and what my thoughts are on it. So as you can see, we have our basic title screen here that shows Spies in the Night being shown like in a spotlight format. You do have your score along the bottom center there. And yes, you can see that the game looks like it's in black and white, and that's exactly correct. There is nothing wrong with the color on your screen. This game is indeed played in black and white. So the controls are pretty simple. Let's go ahead and start a game and I'll show you. So the idea of the game is you have the lighthouse that you can see up there in the upper right hand corner going back and forth roughly about every 3 seconds. I'm the little guy down here on the side, and my job is to get basically from the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen. And those little spots are me hiding behind sections of a broken wall, the same one that I described in the map picture earlier. Now, as far as controls go, you really only have left, right, and then the fire button will cause your agent to duck like that. And of course, the idea is to avoid the light, because if the light sees you, it will alert the snipers to your position, who will then take you out. So honestly speaking, that's really the only way that the game can end, is if you run out of physical time while you're playing it. So let me start another game, and this time I'll focus more on taking out the lighthouse. And as you can see, as I complete each screen left to right, a little bit more of the lighthouse moves towards the left side of the screen along the top, indicating my relative position to the lighthouse along the broken wall that I am steadily creeping along. As you can see, the wall sections are procedurally generated each time you change the screen, which is really cool. So you don't really know what the pattern of the broken wall segment is going to be, because it is randomly created. It's always different every time. So let me just hide behind a section here. Oops, there we go. It can be tricky sometimes if you're not careful, especially the very thin sections of wall, like I've got a ton of here. It can be hard to hide against them to make sure that you're completely obscured. And there we go. I hit the little detonator at the end on the left-hand side, and that caused the lighthouse tower to be blown up. And the time I had left was 13.3 seconds. If I hit the fire button, which normally again causes my character to duck, it will start the game again at a higher difficulty. This time it will add a new element that I have to dodge, as you'll see now. That's right, now there are random shots being fired at me from the right and left sides of the screen. And I have to duck additionally to avoid those stray shots. However, the timer does increase quite a bit, so I've got additional time to get it figured out and to get across. Such a cool concept, just using the black and white like this to the advantage of the simplified graphics that the 2600 is so known for, but at the same time it conveys all the game elements perfectly. And see, I didn't dodge that shot, so I ended up getting hit by one of the side bullets. Now, you have unlimited lives in the game. However, each time you die, depending on where it is that you died on the screen, you're always going to start on the same screen again from the left-hand side, thereby losing some progress. And the time does not reset. So what happens if I get caught by the beam of the spotlight? Well, let me show you. Okay, so if I'm trying to make it over to this and oops. Well, then the snipers go to town and really take me out, like you see there. So as you can see, the game gets quite a bit more difficult, especially with the addition of those shots along the sides. That really does add to the difficulty quite a bit, because it forces you to have to wait sometimes a longer amount of time before you can move on to the next section that you want to hide behind, even if you have enough time to get there, because you have to dodge the beam of the flash or the light from the lighthouse, as well as these stray shots coming from the other bullets. I was so close there too. But that's basically the general principle and gameplay of how it works. Let's talk about some of the other difficulties. Well, the only difficulty in the game is not done by using the select switch. The actual left and right difficulty switches on the Atari are used to control the difficulty of the game. In the case of the left-hand difficulty switch, flipping that switch will do two things. It basically eliminates the possibility of shots coming at you from the left and right in the later levels. But what I've discovered basically is that while this mode might be a little easier since I don't have to worry about bullets from the left and the right, it actually takes longer to get from the starting point to where the actual detonator is to take out the lighthouse. And so as a result, this increases the difficulty in a number of ways, because it does take longer to get there, and you have roughly the same amount of time. You really have to be exact with how long it takes you to get there. Now it looks like I'm going to be able to take it out this time, and that's cool. Duck, move, duck. Okay, so lighthouse has been taken out. Now I'm going to start the second level, or this is on to level 2. But again, with where the difficulty switch is located, ooh, that was close, you'll see that I no longer have those rogue bullets coming at me from the left and the right, as you saw previously. Now, the other difficulty switch doesn't have anything to do with the difficulty of the game itself. Instead, it controls the flashing light effect of the actual lighthouse. As you can see, every time the lighthouse points directly at us, the player, in our field of view, the screen turns bright white with a quick flash, similar to what it might look like if an actual lighthouse light had just a spotlight effect had just gone past you. If you find this effect to be a bother, you know, if it upsets you or if it's messing with your eyes or whatever, then the other difficulty switch turns this feature off without actually making it impossible to see. I'm going to show you that now. So I am going to disable the flashing light effect, but it doesn't completely eliminate the ability to know when it's pointing at you. As you'll see, instead of it flashing white, it's actually going to blink kind of like a blackish color. So let me start over, and you'll see the effect now. It's much more subdued, but still you get the idea as to when the lighthouse is pointed at you. So some people might prefer to play in this mode. Again, if the flashing white light bothers you, then this might be the preferred way to go. Sound effects are pretty sparse. You just have the sound of your little guy walking around. And of course you have the sound of the timer that you heard before when I started to run out of time, as well as the sounds that are made when you get shot and die, plus the detonators. So the sound effects are very effective, and definitely, boom, just like that. So what are my final thoughts really on the game Spies in the Night? Well, I think it's a lot of fun. I really like the simplified graphics that, again, play to the strengths of the Atari, but especially in the use of the black and white itself. Again, it's just a really great concept, and it's very original, and I like that a lot. Again, there isn't any music, but it doesn't really need it, and the sound effects that are present in the game are at least unique in that you know what each sound goes with, and they're very well done. So overall, I've been very impressed with this homebrew, and highly encourage you to pick it up and try it out for yourself.